Okay, we're here with Phil's Knuckles Niekro, Hall of Fame pitcher. How are you today, and how's your time been so far here at the Baltimore Convention Center?
I'm feeling fine. It's a beautiful day in the neighborhood. I always enjoy coming to Baltimore to get those blue crabs with the crack with the hammer.
I love the Maryland crabs.
Yeah, is that what they are?
Yeah, the Maryland, I think.
Yeah, Maryland crabs, whatever, they're good. But it's good to see a lot of the guys here that I played against and with. So, yeah, I don't come to Baltimore a lot, but I really come here. It's good to see you.
It is good to see you too, Phil, for being on the Artie Clear Show. We always appreciate when you come on our show. Phil, take me back to your career. You start with the Braves, and you got like Eddie Matthews on the team along with Hank Aaron. What was it like to play with guys like that on your team?
Well, at that time, I was pretty green. I was just I just wanted to stay in the big leagues and be there. I really didn't care who my teammates were. I just wanted to stay there. But once I was there for a little while and realized the history of these guys, then I felt I was very fortunate to be able to play with some of those guys, like Hank Aaron and Eddie Matthews, New Warren Spahn a little bit, Joe Adcock a little bit, all those guys. So when I look back over my career, my first couple years in the big leagues and the minor leagues, you know, all I saw in the back of my mind was, you know, how am I going to get to the big leagues? What am I going to do? Get this knuckleball over the plate and get to the big leagues, and once I get there, then I'll maybe know a little bit more about the game and who my teammates are and who all these great guys are up there.
You perfected the knuckleball. The only pitcher ever went 300 games with a knuckleball. How did you perfect that, and how long did it take you to get almost some control of that pitch?
I learned that in the backyard with my dad when I was in grade school. I went out for the high school team as a freshman, made it. Pitched 4 years of high school, a couple years of American Legion. 1 year for a Sandlot mining baseball team back in Ohio. Went to a tryout camp. Milwaukee Scouts saw it. Went to spring training. And that was it. I mean, Milwaukee thought, here's a young kid with a knuckleball, let's take a shot. So I figured they know something, maybe that's going to work if I go with it. So I just kept working and working and working with it. And a guy named Red Murph, scout for the Braves after a while, was my manager in Jacksonville, Florida. And Red told me, he said, Niekro, he said, if you get the knuckleball over the plate, you could pitch in the big leagues. So that was, no one ever told me that before, so I guess I took the bull by the horn right there and said, if I want to get to the big leagues, throw it, and I threw it and got there and stayed there for a while.
Celebrated career, you had over 300 victories, the Hall of Fame, your 300th victory in the New York Yankee uniform. Tell us about that day, and how many knuckleballs did you throw in that game?
Well, I had 299, that was my fifth try to get that last year on my contract with the Yankees. I figured if I don't get it, you know, today or one of those 5 starts, I mean, I get re-signed. I was 46 at the time. If I did get re-signed, was I going to be a starting pitcher? Who with? Spring training. So that was an important time in my life where I needed to get that 300 because I didn't know if I was going to play baseball anymore after that. And I threw it. Ironically, I did throw one pitch, the last pitch of the game, to Jeff Burroughs, struck him out, and that was my 300th win. And a lot of people say, when did you know you're going to win 300 games? I said, when I got to 299, I thought I had a pretty good chance then.
What's your weirdest, oddest moment you ever had on the field or in the clubhouse or in the locker room? What's the weirdest things ever happened to you?
Pinch ran one time in San Francisco, Bobby Bragan, and I got halfway and fell down and crawled to second base and made it. And umpire said, well, you're safe. I said, that's right. That's why they put me in here to pinch run. But I actually fell down halfway, and I had just gotten out of the Army, Fort Knox, a year before that, and I remember how to crawl on the ground with the rifle in your hand and under the wire, and I got to second base, and I reached my finger out there and touched it, and he says, you're safe. And 32 people, 34,000 people for the next 10 years always asked me if I was going to pinch run every time I went back to San Francisco.
You and your brother Joe Niekro also threw the knuckleball. The win-his-brother combination all time in the major leagues. I know Joe has passed away. How special was Joe to you?
Well, him and I were like, like monkey glue, really. We were. I don't think there was ever 2 brothers ever that walked this earth that was as close to him and I. I mean, we were that close. Never had a fight, never swore at each other, never nothing. And then, of course, when the aneurysm hit him about 6 years ago, and he never got up. I remember George Brett one time up in Kansas, up in Cooperstown, told me one time that he had lost his brother, George.
Kenny Brett?
Ken,
Right.
yeah, George Brett told me that when he lost his brother Ken, he says, after I lost my brother, he said, Niekro, he said, I want to tell you one thing. I said, what's that? He said, there's not a day goes by that I don't think of my brother. And I said, yeah, sure, yeah. And he was right. There is still not a day to this day that doesn't go by that I don't think of Joe in some degree, something I'm doing, wish Joe was here, those things. So yeah, it still hurts me.
I'm sorry to hear that. And Joe was a great guy.
Oh, yeah.
The funny thing I remember about your brother is when the umpire was checking him, he threw that emery board out of his back pocket.
Yeah.
He's looking around. Okay, listen, Phil, it's really been like...
To this day, I want you to go home and figure that out. Emery board come out when the Emery board hit the grass. Palermo 3 mile of the game, Steve Palermo. Go and trying to put yourself on a mound with 4 TV cameras around you, 4 umpires around you, 36,000 people, first base coach, third base coach, and take that Emery board out of your back pocket while you're on the mound and do something with the ball.
I don't know.
It's
hard
absolutely
for me.
impossible. It's impossible.
It is.
But when he threw it out of his pocket, hit the ground, they threw him out of the game.
Yeah. Well, Phil, we thank you so much for being there. Thank you so much for ever coming on the Artie Clear Show. It's been tremendous. Thank you, Phil.
We'll do it again sometime.
Okay, I really do. Thank you so much.